some people love black metal, whereas some just feel it isn't their thing. But there are endless amounts of bands out there with the word blackened in their genre, giving their music a different sound than traditional death or black metal. One thing is for sure, don't write off a band before listening to them, even if metal with blackened elements isn't usually your thing. These bands helped me enjoy a different direction metal music can go, while appreciating the roots it takes from: melodic, symphonic, brutal, and of course, atmospheric. Some big, some deep underground. So please, sit back and enjoy this beautiful blackness. Karsag. Starting as a one-man project in Liverpool, England in 2009, this melodic black metal band seemingly blew up out of nowhere, and having just released a near-flawless sounding EP, they are definitely worth your listen. They only have 2 additional albums which have a sound that is a perfect mix of traditional sounding black and death metal production. They are melodic, but not in your typical catchy or melancholic way, rather using melody as a tool to pump up the song, almost in a way of power or thrash metal. Though only labeled as black metal, these and other progressive elements solidify Karsag into their own category, which keeps the listener engaged, wanting to listen to each record all the way through. The EP Black Swords of Winter is available now, and you should check out the rest of it. Belphegor is definitely a name many of you have heard. They really are a great example of a band who perfectly mixes black metal and death metal. I can't get enough of 2017's Toten Ritual. They are a prime example of a band who has grown over a multiple decades-long career. Each album shows a clear blackened sound vocally, with rampant blasting that marks their territory as both black and death giants. While they've recently gone more modern in sound as far as production, as well as having some songs that are a bit melodic, they always keep it heavy and true to their form. In short, within their massive discography, there is something for most all metal listeners.
Before time and space existed,
When I discovered Seth, I just felt a breath of fresh air. This hidden gem of a band beautifully mixes black metal with throat-curdling screams and standard-tuned guitars with passionate chants alongside atmospheric keyboards. Unlike a lot of black and blackened metal, the frequent tempo changes and beats that divide the songs into sections show the listener a story unveiling into the next track. This is a band that I can't believe is pretty unknown. This album I featured here is great, but definitely don't miss their debut album performed raw in its entirety live, and quite flawlessly in proper black metal fashion. Another band that is pretty big, but in my honest opinion not big enough, is Karak Angren. They are a symphonic black metal band from the Netherlands. My favorite part about Karak Angren's music is the overall composition. The song structure and telling of a story, as most of their music is concept albums, is really different. But most of all, I'm always impressed by the fact that they do not stay in one key. This having much to do with their keyboardist being a primary songwriter of the band. Most metal bands, regardless of subgenre, fall into a pattern of being in a certain tuning and then falling into, say, a minor key based on that tuning. Then a lot of the songs sound the same. Karak Angren really never has this issue. Complex song structures and these frequent key changes in an organized musical composition fashion demonstrate complete integrity to the word symphonic and symphonic black metal. Each album is an epic tale told in many different languages, which will keep the listener engaged from start to finish, giving new meaning to the word atmospheric. There's no way to easily summarize this band, you'll just have to listen. I've mentioned Hate in another list, but wanted to include them here because of their shift to blackened death metal from pure death metal over the years. I can't get enough of it. Particularly 2019's Auric Gates of Velez. What's so perfect about these later few albums is the production is just fantastic. I feel like I'm inside the studio with them while simultaneously in a freezing cold forest in Poland questioning my existence. The atmosphere, while being so brutal, is something that just stands out to me. The next time you're in the mood for something heavy as hell while firmly grounding you in the atmosphere in which it comes from, you've got to listen to Hate. I feel pretty confident that you do not know this band. Funny story, I stumbled upon this band accidentally because my wife came up with the name Nefarium. I liked it so much, so I had to see if it had already existed, and well, I discovered a band I now can't stop listening to. Though they usually just list themselves as black metal, this band has that and the absurdly frequent and fast blasting on the snare as some of our favorite brutal death metal bands. All three of their albums have solid production when thinking in black metal mindset, I'd say. It's not lo-fi quality, but you can clearly hear a more 90s sound considering these albums are from the 2000s. And yes, the guitar is in E standard tuning in traditional black metal style. Throw this band on your black metal playlist or your brutal death metal playlist because they fit well on either. Check out this band that I am so glad I accidentally stumbled upon. So that is the end of this one. I would love to hear some ideas that any of you have for a potential list in the future. And I hope you add some new Blackened metal to your playlists and discover something you might not have listened to otherwise. And if you get any time, please check out any of my guitar covers or any of my other content. I would really appreciate it. Every little bit, every second, every few seconds that you put towards giving me some watch time is really helping this channel grow. And I will see you in the next video.